Alright, here we are at Soapbox Kitchen. This is where I milk the goats. I'm going to show you a simple process that I use, that I developed due to the fact having newborns and trying to breed them and milk them. The next season was very difficult. So I developed this simple method using a vacuum pump, a vacuum regulator, and I'll walk you through it as we go through the milking. Well, let me start by getting the goat up here, and then we can kind of talk about it and go through all the scenarios. She's pretty good. She goes right up there, no problem. Never needs any coaching or anything. As you can see, it's loaded for bear there. Alright. I use these wet wipes for sanitation. I find them to be inexpensive, and they really do the job. Oh, we wash them up real good here. Take a look at it. You can see if there's any dirt. It shows up pretty quick on the white. But she's pretty clean. So now she's waiting. Let me grab the stuff. I'm going to show you how easy it is to set up. Half-gallon jar, which is a cannon jar that I use. Take the lid off, put it in your back pocket. You don't want it sitting around getting dust on it. We do have dirt floors here, plus barn dust is always nasty anyways. Vacuum hose. I like to keep it clean. It builds up a little humidity in there, so I always clean it out. Just see, I like to use these little quick releases. It's real simple. Same thing on the jar. Little quick release. Makes everything simple. Let me kind of show you the setup here before I get all excited about milking here. What I do is I picked up one of these T-fittings for 1/4-inch hose, and these are syringe containers that I use. File the inside a little bit, make them smooth. You get these for free at the veterinarian. I found a few that I've used here. We just clean them out. And add a couple of these little fittings right here on a cannon jar, and you're good to go. Real simple. Doesn't get much easier, does it? Alright. Now let me show you how it works. Give her food. She's getting a little impatient. Then I walk over here, I just click the pump on. Hook up the quick slip on. And as you can see, the milk's on the way. I like to keep it about 12 pounds. And it seems to work best there. Sometimes I turn it down to about 8 when I have first year milkers where they're real easy to milk. One of the things I've noticed in using this system is that the tits seem to stay real healthy. They always look good. They don't seem to be bruised as far as what you would get if you were probably using a milking machine. We have a little mosquito problem around here. As you can see, she's kind of kicking, but and you don't want that too much, but the main thing I'm trying to get away from is the barn dust. A lot of people say, you know, I can hand milk faster than you do your little machine, but the thing is, everything comes straight out of the udder and straight into the jar. There's no contaminants, unless we have an issue over here, but there's no contaminants that end up in the jar. So everything stays clean. Hand milking, you'll end up with a lot of hair, and you'll end up with a lot of dust from the barn falling into the milk, which I found that it really makes the milk taste bad. So I can eliminate that whole process and make it affordable for myself and the 4 goats that I milk. It just doesn't get any easier for me. Milking machines run about, once you get all the whole system set up and running, you know, it can run you about $3,000, and that's very cheap. But in this setup I have here, I have about $320 into the setup. And I've had it running for 2 years, and it's milked all my goats. Now I only have 4 goats to milk, so it's not like, you know, I need to go out and buy, you know, expensive milking machine. But I want my milk to be clean. I want my milk to be pure, and I don't want the contamination from the barn, from the goat hair, getting into it. So I developed this method. What started it was, which I was getting to, was when I was milking the first year milkers. Well, you know, their tits are only this big, and I can only get about 2 fingers on it. I mean, I got big hands. So I was having major issues, and it was taking me a long time to milk those fresh milking goats. So I developed the easy system that I have here in order for me to milk them. And then I found it to be a lifesaver, trust me. Now usually when I'm milking, I'm usually doing chores, getting water, you know, associating with the goats, you know, visiting, and carrying on with my chores. Now, as you can see, as we've been talking here, we've already got a ½ gallon. So I loosen the jar, I loosen this jar, I pop that, swap that, put that, press that, and it's back to melting. Never get no contaminants. Besides that little swap you saw there, that's about the only time where a little barn dust might get in there. But getting a little impatient. Got a few mosquitoes around here messing around with it. It's starting to bit unsettled. Plus, she's almost done too. But one of the, one of the biggest issues I had was trying to milk those small tins. It was hard. And even, even if I did and I milked it into a pail, well, I'm still back into the point where I just can't take that jar, put it in the refrigerator, and drink it. I have to clean it, then I'll have to pasteurize it because, the stuff on their hair is pretty nasty. We just take it off, pop that, take it off, and it's good to go. We'll tighten that up because I haven't tightened it up yet. There you go. Let's grab another one. This is Mary. She's the biggest one. She's a tall bird. She's a big girl. She's one of the first goats we ever purchased. And I tell you what, she has really done well. Produces some nice looking kids and really puts out the milk. We have some Nubians, Alpines. The one I just milked was an Alpine. And she looks pretty good. Same scenario. Well, gotta give her. Nope. She's like, give me some food. Well, that's okay. Alright. They don't have table manners, So, we'll get you some. You settle down there, you little girl. Or more like big girl. Alright, we'll fire her up. Nope. Gotta have the vacuum before we can actually hook up. Sometimes you gotta watch. I get down here real close and she'll pop me in a lip. I've had a few fat lips from her kicking up. Well, you know what happens. So we'll set that over here. But for a few bucks, you can't beat it. I have the milk coming into the jar. Out of the jar, it comes into what I call the secondary jar, which is the emergency overflow jar, which you really need to have because if she kicks over, you don't want that milk going into that pump. Trust me, it's the fastest way to really mess up a pump. And so you have this emergency overflow. And from there, you come into a vacuum regulator. Now, it's very important. There is a difference between a vacuum regulator and an air compression regulator. So you have to have a vacuum regulator, CFM. And then from that vacuum regulator, then we go into the pump. But here I can dial any vacuum I want. And so right now it's set at 12 pounds. I always check it before I fire up just to make sure that I'm not over vacuum on their kids, because definitely don't want to use too much vacuum or you might rupture a tit and then you'll have a mess. So nice slow vacuum, no problem. The vacuum regulator cost me about 160 bucks. The vacuum pump cost me about the same. Like I said, for $3 1/4, it's really made my life simpler around here. When, you know, the milk's coming in, I mean, and dealing with kids, feeding kids. We have actually 7 kids in the pen right now because it's evening time and it's time for them to come in and settle down. They've been out in the yard playing all night or all day, so we get them in there. But to deal with all that and dealing with kids, watering, you know, this system makes it real nice. The barn, let me explain a little bit about the barn if you really want to hear about the barn. The barn's pretty simple. I built the barn pretty much as a gambrel roof system. I laid down some peat stone with some womanized stakes, laid some womanized plate down, built the trusses laying down on the ground, flipped them up, sheeted it, shingled it, and I had a barn for like $600. I mean, you can't beat that, can you? So, and it works real well. It's 24 feet long and 19 feet wide. So, and it's really served well. I shingled the roof, shingled the sides. I've never had any issues with it. It's not showing any signs of rot or anything. I mean, it was just a real simple. The main thing is put a trench of pea stone down, set your stakes, lay your pea stone down. That helps drain all the stuff away, and then flip your structure up, and you got yourself a quick, easy barn for, you know, real cheap. Look at that. She's all about throwing her dinner plate tonight. Yeah, I don't know about you, Mary. There, I have to give you some more. Gotta be nice to them. I mean, if you get mad at them, trust me, they do hold a grudge for a couple days. Now, same thing. Loosen up. Loosen. Flip. Flop. Flop. Push down. Back to melting. It's that easy to switch. Now, if you want the design, I will send you the information you need. All I ask is for a donation of $19, and I'll send you all the information you need to build your own vacuum system like this. And I also will throw in a blueprint of this barn, so you can build your own little barn for real cheap. It's all about helping. When you help somebody else, you help yourself. Here at Soapbox Kitchen, you know, we have a good time. We enjoy it. The goats, we enjoy ourselves. We make lots of cheese, and we drink lots of milk, and we make goat milk soaps. We do pretty much everything you could possibly do with goat milk. So, can't sell the cheese, but we do eat the heck out of it. We have grilled cheese sandwiches every day. And it's just awesome. Well, I appreciate you guys for watching, and I hope this video inspires you to make your life easy like it has mine. And the milking stanchion, you can find those, but if you want a trend on the milking stanchion, I'll hook you up with one of those too. Dang mosquitoes. Settle down there. Hey, what'd you do with him? You threw that out again? You know, I don't know what her deal is tonight. Maybe she's just showing off for the camera, but she's all about throwing her tail off. But if you guys have any questions, I always know that somebody's always going to say, well, I can milk faster, and you know, that's fine. They can milk faster in a pail and squeeze all they want, and they can get all that degree in their milk. Personally, my milk stays clean. I don't have to pasteurize it because I drink it just the way it goes in the jar is the way I drink it in the glass. So, and that's the way it's supposed to be. You know, raw milk. But thanks for watching, guys.